Hey, welcome back.
Hello.
Hello, how's it going?
Doing pretty good. How are you guys?
Good, good, good.
Never been better.
Been a little bit of a break. Anything exciting going on?
You want to talk about elections?
That's what came to my mind as well. Everybody talking
Okay.
about elections.
I know nothing other than the outcome
That's
of
all
what
you
was
need
Well,
to
I
know.
can
projected as the
tell
outcome.
you that's all there's need to know. But I can tell you one thing. Now everybody is talking about Hungary, which is really interesting. A small country in the middle of Europe, and now everybody's talking about it. I went to a gathering this week and we got these little stickers with the name and which country you were coming from, and everybody, when they saw that, yeah, it's Hungary, and they all started talking about the election and
That's
they
funny.
now know where Hungary is, and I'm like, my goodness, getting all the attention. And that wasn't possible before. So
Well, it was possible, but probably
Okay.
from the wrong side.
yeah, in most cases when I say here that, hey, I'm from Hungary, it's like, oh, that's nice. But you hear on the tone that, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Where is that and why? But now the fact that they recognize it, it's simply because of the election and the end result of the election, and all the peaceful protests and everything else. So it's positive.
Would it be different if instead of saying I'm from Hungary, the country, if you said I'm from Budapest, the city? Do you think there's name recognition?
I don't know, because there is if you think, well, I don't know if you know that, but I saw that there is a city called Budapest here as well. There are so many European city here as well,
That's for
like
sure.
Yeah, there
Vienna
are.
is there. We were driving down to Houston for the voting, and I saw Italy called out, hey, you're gonna need to go that way to go to Italy. Obviously not to Italy, the country, right? And then there was Athens as well. And I was calling it out to my daughter. She was preparing for her rehearsal, right? And then she was just looking at her paper. She wasn't looking at the scenery. And I said, "Hey, do you want to go to Athens? We can go down there." And she was like, "What are you talking about?" So I don't know. I don't know if that would help, but now everybody knows Hungary is Hungary, and we won, and we wrote history.
Good deal. So anything else going on? Levy, how's life in the working world?
You want to talk about that, right? Yeah, so AI. Using AI the way I don't think should be, or the way it isn't the most efficient way of using AI, I think. So basically, what I see is that there is an effort going on to try to replace human thinking with AI thinking and find solutions to problems that were created of humans because they were thinking as humans. And now, because the AI is pointing out problems, it's suddenly a big wow moment. But when you were talking about it as a human, you were probably dismissed that, oh, well, I mean, we don't really have the capabilities, or we don't have capacity because, the developers are overwhelmed and so on and so forth. But now that AI is saying that, oh, we should really, really get this low-hanging fruit and eliminate all the what's that? Necessary
Noise.
noise, yeah, the false alerts and the threshold issues and stuff like that. Then suddenly it's I haven't thought about that. Yes, because you weren't thinking about this ever. But whoever were actually working with these tickets, they always talked about this. Why do we have these 150 tickets coming in when it's about a network glitch? Everyone knows that it's not a server down. It's going to recover because we have the processes. Why do we have the ticket coming in? And now it's suddenly a big deal and low-hanging fruit. And oh my God, how many tickets will we get rid of?
So in that discussion, if you think back about it, our common client that we worked on together had a very robust dashboard. We kind of talked a little bit in the past about it. I mean, it was a huge dashboard, but they had triggers for somebody sneezed. The dashboard had a location on it would turn red, right? So the technology out of the box maybe wasn't configured correctly. Thresholds were set by somebody who probably shouldn't have set those thresholds, didn't understand what they were looking at. Nobody did any research in advance to see what does normal look like. And at 6 p.m., backups kick off for this client and this stuff starts running, network utilization spikes for 2 hours. Well, if you don't take that into account that that's
Yeah,
normal,
business as
that we
usual.
expect to
Yeah.
see that, yeah. And you set up all these triggers, suddenly you've got this massive dashboard that half of it's red because of the activity that's happening that's expected to happen. That's interesting that, to your point, we call out those problems and it's really hard to affect change. But suddenly the perception that AI is smarter than humans, suddenly that perception that AI is calling out the exact same thing, it's low-hanging fruit. We can just take care of it. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
But you know what? You know at the end
Yeah, but AI doesn't
what
tell
to do.
you
Yeah, exactly. I mean, other than
All right.
you have to
how.
eliminate this. Well, thanks. Okay.
Yeah, we know that,
Yeah.
dude. Thank you. But how?
Yeah.
So the how is missing. And to your point, Troy, it's if you think about it, a couple of years ago, let it be, I don't know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we haven't even been there ourselves, right? To be able to ask the right questions, and everybody was setting up these thresholds and criteria and everything else based on what they saw that, hey, this is the percentage when something happens, so let's set it to that. It wasn't proactive, it wasn't preventive. We needed to get to that mindset ourselves as well, like with the previous work that we've been doing, that hey, yeah, I want to eliminate it, but I would like to eliminate it before it becomes a user impacting situation. And then as technology evolved, obviously we could start using automation, and we could start using scripting and try to self-heal the situation basically. And if it didn't work, only then give me a ticket, right? Log all the information that I need and what the automation has tried. And on top of that, like Levi said it, we can start using AI, but somebody needs to understand what needs to be done on the ground level to make it happen. And that's what it sounds like, Levi, what you don't have.
Yeah.
At this point.
And that's it, and I don't want to pick a specific tool, but that's what kind of made me excited about exploring some of the tools that were emerging just a few years ago for us. And one specific, I'll just call it out. I have no connection to it, but Datadog. And what I liked about it was more closely aligned, and today it is really aligned with observability. And the ability to actually understand holistically what's occurring was exponentially greater than any of the other tools we were ever using. I'm not going to name those tools because it would be disparaging, but I really like that. But even then, you watch the problem. It was problematic to implement a good tool. Again, you run into those same obstacles. Like out of the box, it's not going to satisfy your need. You're not going to have requirements met out of the box. You have to configure it correctly. Well, if you create a dashboard that triggers on everything, that is not correctly. You end up with 1,000 incident tickets, and 950 of them are just noise.
Depends on what's your goal, right?
Yeah.
It could be
Exactly.
looked at as correctly set
Judith.
up.
Understanding what you do today and how you do it and where you want to be, that transformation just seems to persistently be missing.
But it's
I think it goes back to the human piece of it, that we keep on referring to as a human element, right? And the leadership style as well. Just remember how many times we were looking at incidents and we said that, hey, we shouldn't be doing this. We can automate it and have it automatically or semi-automation resolve it one way or another. And just remember how many times we ourselves got the answer from our own agents saying, well, it's just 5 minutes. I'm like, yep, but you have 300 of them.
Right.
Do the math, how much time it is for something that is not necessary. And I think that piece is something that our leadership understood, but the effort that would have been needed to put into it to eliminate those 300 tickets taking 5 minutes, that's what was missing. Yeah, and that's where the leadership comes in.
Another element that I really struggled with was, like, as an MSP, we struggled to have the client on the same page. So we have a client, public account, fairly good size, that wants everything that they're generating from server logs. They want it. All that information is good. Lovey, you and I specifically, Judy, you're aware, know that, no, especially if it's a Windows server, everything in the logging that comes out of that box is not useful now. But I had a solution. I proposed it. I said, hey, you know what? At that time, we're using a really extensive data lake setup. And said, let's use Elk Stack, Elastic, and Logstash, and let's get it all that logging out of the server realm and into a data lake, and then start doing analytics on the actual data that we've exported, so the client can see you really didn't need all this, or you do want this, and working towards the predictive modeling. You could never really connect those dots because each organization had its own path forward, its own goals. And as an MSP, if you're not being paid for the service, well, you're not going to do the work. You got to convince the client. So you've got that human piece of it where people understand what you're talking about, but they don't get the big picture. It doesn't ever resonate. And in many cases, if they just talk to the engineers, if they talk to Levy, if our client there had just come to Levy and asked him for his insights, they probably would have walked away after an hour's discussion with a roadmap of where they wanted to really go that meant a path to success. So they would have been more successful with the technology, but they didn't do that.
No, they didn't. But you said something interesting there that if the customer doesn't pay for it, we are not doing it. That's where I'm struggling again when it comes to
Right.
the leadership piece of it. There are so many things that we as an entity, and doesn't matter which company we are talking about, but we as a company, we would need to do in order to position ourselves better on the market, regardless if our customer is paying for it or not. So we need to, in my mind, and I know not everybody agrees with me, but in my mind, we need to invest the time and effort into something that they are currently not paying for in order to be able to go and sell it. And we can use our existing customers as a pilot.
There you go. Sales opportunities abound.
Yeah, and I'm always getting the pushback that no, the customer is not paying for it. And then when you go into RFPs or RFIs and things like that, and then you're surprised that you're not the one getting it. Yes, because you don't have what they are asking for.
Or Judith, the fun part is that same customer may come back and tell you through CSAT, your customer satisfaction score, you're not innovative.
And the funny thing is,
wow, that's news to me.
The funny thing is that they are actually paying for that. They are not paying for that, but they are paying, keep on paying for something that could be resolved, and then they shouldn't be paying for that part. And then you can have them pay for something else more meaningful, but they keep paying for the mistake that was done back then, and it never got corrected.
That's
so
true.
They are actually paying because all those man hours that we put in for efforts without any actual solutions or no solution needed because it wasn't a problem, they are paying for it.
And both sides stand behind the service level agreement we're not going to progress because of this one document. Well, have you thought of a change order? Have you thought of maybe proposing a change?
Yeah, an amendment or something?
Benefit. Yeah.
Improvement.
Just because you signed this contract 5 years ago and the SLAs are still in place, unchanged, doesn't mean that it's right. Doesn't make it efficient or effective for either side. Adaptability is it's funny how humans will kind of just stagnate into
because it's safe. They think it's safe, but we know it
is something
it's not
safe
that safe if you think about it, because once the contract is done, they're going to go away.
But they feel safe, Levy. It makes them feel safe.
True.
It makes it because they are doing something, again, going back to our agents as well. Right? Back then, they knew what they needed to do. They knew what was expected from them. If you change that, the way you're working, that's going to be a change for them that they need to adopt to as well, and it might get them out of their comfort zone, right? So, and not everybody is willing to do that, which is something that we as leaders, we need to recognize. And yeah, there are people who are going to do like, with the bell curve as well. We know that 70% or it doesn't matter what that percentage is. They just want to do their eight hours a day and then go home and not think about work anymore. And we know that there are those people, but there's the other side of it.
That's why you outsource HR. Get rid of I'm just kidding. Just replace them with a bunch of lawyers.
Yeah, but those people are delivering as well. They are just delivering on their comfort level. So even if they get the medium rating of meeting the expectation, it's still valuable work for us, right?
It is.
One way or another. But yeah, I mean, going back to what you just said, Levy, that they are paying, the customer is paying for something that shouldn't be working the way it's working, but back then, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, it was good. The continuous improvement is what I'm missing, and I know that that in most of the contracts, it's there that the supplier or the service provider needs to do continuous improvement.
Yeah, and that's a great point, Judith, because in our contracts, if they were a 5-year deal, each subsequent year after the initial year, there was a level of optimization that had to occur for cost savings. You had to reduce your costs by 20% year 2, by another 10% year 3, 10% you had to show improvement. How would you achieve that improvement if you weren't making changes to the way you started?
They just reduce the cost. They just say that we are doing it cheaper. Then,
we'll just do it with fewer people.
Exactly.
And when they all burn out, the quality of the work you deliver is
plummeted.
That's not the right way.
No, it's not. Terrible. That's it.
There are so many smart people out there who could make it happen, without having to lay off people. And then those who, again, talking about AI, talking about automation, yeah, we can do a lot and we can eliminate a lot of the level one type of work. But those people can be retrained and can be put into another position where it's needed. I mean, I just read an article somewhere, and it was like a company, don't know which one it was, one of the big ones, laying off thousands of people because of AI. But at the same time, they have I think it was like 800, 900 open positions. And we've been in that situation ourselves as well, right? So why don't they retrain those who would be let go because AI is taking over their job to do something else? Have they ever tried it at all? And probably not, right?
Well, I think the business model today is you get rid of the more expensive tenured employees and you just try to replace it with all the lower cost. Not necessarily junior, because even junior folks coming out of college are struggling to find jobs. The
Yep.
pathway ends tighter. It's limited access if you just come out of school. But getting rid of the more expensive folks, nobody's measuring intellectual capital and the value add in a way that suggests hanging on to that knowledge is important enough to keep because they believe technology is
Replace.
going to backfill. It'll replace.
Yeah.
It's
No, it won't.
unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. And we actually, that's funny, Judith. We proposed a change in 2022 to the model and going, instead of going from a wide pyramid where everybody
Oh, yeah.
is at the lowest level, your majority of your staff is the junior, least trained, least capable associates, to tightening that up, not eliminating it because you have to have that path in, but tightening it up and putting more investment in the middle tiers of skills and experience and adding value, which would be leveraging technology more effectively, more efficiently, reducing your costs, your operating costs and the cost of the customer, whatever the scenario may be. And it got rejected. It got pushed back. No, we just want the low cost labor. Okay. And you look at the vast majority of people laid off, probably your best and brightest gone. Who's left?
Then they start
Well, it's the folks that
hiring and they looking for the unicorns.
can't do the work. Yeah, exactly. Looking
At
for
some point,
unicorns.
Roy, they accepted the idea because they laid all of us off
Yeah, well, but that's the
for
problem.
different reasons.
They laid all the experienced, capable folks off, and then it's the most junior staff inherited the earth, and you got a handful of people who still have those proficiencies trying to run everything like herding cats.
Oh,
Well, you
yeah.
got all these junior folks have to be told what to do, where to do it, and when to do it. I can only imagine what the outcomes are looking like. I've seen the
Yeah,
stock
you
value.
don't have
I
to
know what the
imagine it.
outcomes are.
It's
Well,
statistically there.
and at the same time, it gives opportunities though to those leaders who love to micromanage, which is something we never wanted to do. So,
Right. Well, you
match
have no
made in heaven.
choice. You have no choice because if you're not micromanaging, then nothing's
Yeah,
going to get done. Because you've left no talent below
but
you.
you
You
cannot
have to
micromanage
micromanage.
a team of 30 people.
No, and that's the other thing, that this alignment was never right. We would have managers with 30, 40 direct reports.
60, 70,
How's that ever
80,
going to be
and 90
yeah, yeah, that's just not workable.
Guinness
In
records.
I guess I have to retract that. It's workable in the right model if that's the model you're operating from. In the context of what we were doing, that was not.
Yeah, it could have worked out, but hey, whatever. So, but Levi, how are you going to solve your problem right now?
Hello? I can't hear you. My problem,
He's
I have
he's going to turn to
so
generative
many
AI for an
problems. Yeah,
answer.
I will start vibe coding. Well, actually, I have to see what will be the end result, and what is expected, and what will be done with the inputs, if they need any inputs. Because that's the other thing, is that somebody comes up with a solution based on AI, and then they just throw it out and use it and tell us what you use it for. What do you mean?
Oh, that's lovely.
It's like it's not like you invented I don't know, the ball, and then let's see what children I use it for. Oh my God, that one is throwing it, that one is kicking it. Oh my God, so many possibilities. Why invent something that you don't have a purpose for? So it's stupid.
They might have a Levi. They might have a purpose for it.
Yeah, to keep their
And
job.
they are just trying
Yeah.
to. That's always a purpose, but that's not what I was.
They
That's
just
not
roll
what
it
I
up
was
as a
referring
metric
to.
to shareholders
Yeah,
so
I'm
that they
afraid so.
have the
And you
perceived
have
value.
to
But
act like, oh my God, or become the stage. Sorry.
just want to give them a bit of credit. Probably they know what they want to use it for. Probably they just cannot communicate it properly. Because we've seen that as
Possibly.
well.
Yeah, we have.
You know, you just need to ask the right questions, Lenny,
Yeah. If you have someone to ask it for.
and sell us.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
I'll find out who that is.
Let's see.
No, that's good. Good discussion, Levy. Thanks for bringing up that topic. It's a good topic. Anything you guys want to close with?
I have another idea because this is bugging me big time and it makes me mad that I spend like impossible amount of time closing tickets, for instance. Because there is you cannot just close the ticket that okay, it's solved. It has to be in the right format. Has to be with
Yeah.
proper tags, filled out, whatnot. Spend more time doing that than actually solving problems. And it's making me mad because this is something that AI is made for. I just tell AI,
Exactly.
I solved this issue on this server. This was the problem. This was the resolution. Give me the closing statement, and that's it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to scroll through drop downs. Oh, this one is not, this one is not, this one. Oh, batch. No, that's not that one because it's an incident and it's very specific. And when you look at, all the lines because you just saw the first letter and then you hover over and then it expands to like half a meter long. No, this is just crazy. We're using AI
Great
for the
use case.
worst possible
It
human
is a good
stupid
use
things.
case.
I'm telling you, it's crazy.
I agree.
I'm just waiting for the asteroid.
See, even going back 20 years, RoboHelp understood that.
Yeah, there
RPA,
was
still saying
there were
that.
all those tools, automation tools, that they are trying to use AI today to do those jobs. But it's not for that. It's just, it's probably because humans aren't evolved enough yet.
So when is your book coming out? You're going to publish
After
all. Posthumous doesn't work, man. You got to make some money off of this now.
Absolutely.
Look forward to it.
we have what's this? A blog or what is it? A podcast.
Podcast.
It's a podcast.
Sorry, I'm such a boomer sometimes. Sorry, guys.
Good
My
times.
goodness.
Well, great conversation. Hope you guys have a great week ahead.
You too.
Thank you. Hope you have a great week
Yeah.
next week.
Good news and
Well,
stuff.
since the week started today, it should be good. It should be rolling. In fact,
It
I've got to
starts
do
tomorrow.
I've got to do a virtual, my very first AI-driven interview this afternoon. I have to record it today, so it'll be interesting.
That sounds interesting.
It's funny because I've not this honestly, this will be the first time I'm interacting with AI for an interview. This is a screening interview, your first steps in. So we'll see how it
will
goes.
be like
Well, I had one where it was AI to schedule the interview. It was really good.
Well, what's interesting is they sent me this email late Friday afternoon with a 48-hour window to complete it. Like, God, why are you dropping it on me on Friday afternoon and expecting me over the weekend to get this completed? Is that part of the weed you out process, or
yeah.
we'll see. I'll let you know how it goes.
Well, for me, it was only the drug test where they said that they sent it in and said that, hey, you have 3 days to make it happen. Not an interview.
No, probably Troy is going to be like thank you for calling Bank of America customer service. Please state your name. Levante. I don't understand. Please repeat it.
Well, I'll let you know. I'll let you know what ends up that.
Let us know. Keep us
Looking
informed.
forward. Hear
Will do.
from you.
All right.
It'll be great.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye now.